down your block, boy. Bass beating down your block, boy. All I hang around is block boys. In my pocket, that's a knot, boy. Think you hot, but you not, boy. Bass beating down your block, boy. Bass beating down your block, boy. Bass beating down your block, stunting.
Yo, what's up? I'm doing a little binge watch of Phase One's music videos. So we checking out his music video, Pops. Pops is I listened to this song on his Rising Sun. So I listened to this song on his Rising Sun album. I like it. It's very moving and very deep, especially what he talks about in there, and you'll see what I mean. I get from his visuals in this music video, but his songs and albums have slapped, bro. I really like I like Rising Sun. I like Michael. I like what's the other one, bro? Excuse me. What's the other one? Blood and Lamb. But I really like Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu is fire too. But I really recommend everybody listen to his songs because they're really very, how to say, informative. Like a lot of songs is very informative, very moving, and really good. I really recommend y'all check it out. But with that being said, was there Rahu Bat Pa Musafar Musafar Musar or Musafar Musar. Follow Phase One. I think it's 2 underscores on Instagram for updates, more and updates. The war is older. The war isn't over. Hold on to that rope. Tug of war. I get it. Tug of war. War isn't over. Hold on to that rope. But anyways, sorry. With that being said, bro, so before I get into this, so in the song he talks about Malachi Z. York and what happened to him and to land Tom Murray. Tom Murray was, how you say, raided by the, I think, was it the FBI? The FBI to go and arrest Malachi Z. York because of allegations of him touching children. You could put 2 and 2 together what I mean when I say that. But he didn't because, one, the people who reported to the police lied on his name, which was also one of his sons who lied because he was mad, because he was bitter because Malachi wouldn't support him, because he wanted to support Lil Kim. That's who it was. Lil Kim. So he didn't want to support Lil Kim, so he wouldn't give him money or give him support to support her. So he got mad, I guess bitter about it, and then and what's funny is Tom Murray was being investigated by being watched by the FBI by a certain officer, or main head of the whole raid. And he was looking for evidence, couldn't find any. So it just so happens his son and somebody else came to him and said, "Oh yeah, he was touching children," da da da. And they lied under oath in the courtroom. And just to show that I'm not making it up, because people are gonna look at it and like, well, it says he's arrested and all that, which is fine. But what Malachi brought to Malachi helped bring knowledge and right knowledge to our people, and it just so happens he got locked up. And then I could see people saying, well, I mean, a lot of people get locked up, but if you go read the Holy Tablets, go to Young Elders YouTube channel and listen to the tapes of what Malachi Z. York's teachings and all that, and even the tapes that Young Elder helped update, and still the same information from Kozy York. Because if you notice, and I know a lot of people aren't tapped into the spiritual community online and all that, but if you are, you know that a lot of these so-called spiritual, how you say, digital or not digital, these, yeah, I would say digital, I was saying the right thing, digital spiritual people took this knowledge, because they can't, if you ask them where they got 9 ether from, they won't tell you they got it from the Holy Tablets from Kozy York. But Kozy York's Holy Tablets came out before any of these people talked about 9 ether. So, and a lot of this other stuff, the government, a lot of these movies, a lot of these movies take stuff from Kozy York's Kozy York's teachings and books, because Malachi wrote 100 books, and he's still writing books and putting them out. But like, a lot of people don't know about Kozy York, because these spiritual people won't mention his name and won't mention where he got their knowledge from, and won't talk about saying free him and all this other stuff. So, but with all that being said, now you got the idea of what this song is gonna be about, and who Kozy York is. And there's much more to him than other than just this case. Other than this case of to show who he is, there's more stuff. You can look him up. Look up Young Elder. Young Elder has a bunch of tapes. You type in Kozy York tapes, it'll pop up. And look up Phase 1. Phase 1 will give you the truth. So, that being said, let's check this out. I'll make sure I'll put this in 4K. Here we go. Oh, this song is so good.
Robert Musard, it's not over. Shit ain't near over. I don't know how the hell they thought they were gonna be able to just forget about the master teacher. Everybody would just roll over, let this shit happen. Not this one. The whole world gonna know. Cause who the hell gon' get us out of this one? Sometimes I just feel like the hell with this entire mission. How did they forget about the one that gave us back our vision? I'm just like, hell nah, I be down, they let you die in prison. All that divine wisdom, without you and my mama, I know that I'ma be on my own. Baba, I'm holding on, tied to the rope, I'm strong. I hope they know it's on. Baba, I'm holding on, tied to that rope, I'm strong. Without you and my mama, yeah. They say pop, and I say pop, cause that my pop. I screwed out the womb and took that walk. They took our land, it hurt my heart. I'm just like, Umi, why you crying? She just held my hand cause she couldn't stop. They don't understand, they broke our family up, and family all we got. And now I look out at the world and I see why we needed him. We got all these impersonators trying to kick it, but bitch ain't nobody succeeded him. He the reason I swing by the hood with the killers, thugs, gorillas, and feet on gym. He the reason I treat all the women with kindness. Just could've got as I see in them. See, right now, just get my parents the way. My mama made it so I ain't straight from the shit I was taught with before I was fade. That the reason I'm amazing today. And I don't mean no disrespect to the minister Farrakhan, they never gave us to play. What you mean, ain't he a part of it? Yeah, we were taught about him. Malcolm X, all the greats, but why did y'all hold back? And not let the people know that he was here. You don't think they should know that? Yeah. Nah, y'all just don't care. Let's be clear. He done been in there 20 years. This shit ain't fair. How the fuck y'all just gon' leave him there? Who the hell gon' get us out of this one? Sometimes I just feel like the hell with this entire mission. How did they forget about the one that gave us back our vision? I'm just like, hell nah, I be down, they let you die in prison. All that divine wisdom, without you and my mama, I know that I'm gonna be on my own. Baba, I'm holding on, tied to the rope, I'm strong. I hope they know it's on. Baba, I'm holding on, tied to that rope, I'm strong. Without you and my mama, yeah. Who the hell gon' get us out of this one? Sometimes I just feel like the hell with this entire mission. How did they forget about the one that gave us back our vision? I'm just like, hell nah, I be down, they let you die in prison. Sometimes I just feel like I'm strong without you and my mama, yeah. Who the hell gon' get us out of this one? Sometimes I just feel like the hell with this entire mission. How did they forget about the one that gave us back our vision? I'm just like, hell nah, I be down, they let you die in prison. All that divine wisdom, without you and my mama, I know that I'ma be on my own. Baba, I'm holding on, tied to the rope, I'm strong. I hope they know it's on. Baba, I'm holding holding on. Tied to that rope, I'm strong without you and my mama. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bob, I'm holding on. Yeah, I hold it low, it's on. Yeah, you keep that.
Damn, bro. Nah, it's just crazy, bro. Like, it's wild that this happened to him and he's still in jail. Like, bro, there's so many people who like, man, bro, there's so many people who actually walked on the land, talked to him and all that, and it only took like 4 or 5 ex-members to talk to the FBI to arrest them and have them talk to the families, to the children, the mothers, put them on the sand to tell their experience. None of that. That's nuts to me. So like I said, this, like, the stuff I said, I'm probably gonna put at the end of the video. And if it's too long, I might make it in 2 parts. We'll see. But bro, it's just nuts, bro. Like, this has happened to him. So I'm gonna do my part and spread the message, and spread the info in the sense of, like, about him and the situation. Yeah, man. So that being said, y'all, if y'all like the video, make sure to like, subscribe, check out Faise 1's channel, check out his music, and his Instagram, Faise1__. He goes live, and talks about, like, about a lot of stuff. So check him out. Check out Young Elder. Young Elder has a bunch of tapes on Kozy York, and has some live streams that he has done with Faise 1. And yeah, man. All right. Before we get into Abigail's recanted statement, to learn more about what happened with Tomaré and the incident that happened with Kozy York, you can go on nuopianfacts.com to look at all the information they collected and all everything that happened there on this website. It's literally, I think it's literally on the front page when you, like, go to this website, and it will show you all the stuff that happened at Tomaré, and all the the proof and all that of what really happened. And you, as you can see right here, here's the video that I will play after this, of Habiba Abigail Washington recanting her statement. So like I said, if you want to learn more and know more, instead of just going off of what it just says that, oh, he's been prosecuted for something he didn't do, if you don't want to just follow that and actually, like, do the research and learn, go to nuopianfacts.com. Check out all this whole thing. You got the person who was trying to prosecute him and went after him. You got like I said, her Abigail Washington's recanted statements. You got a whole bunch of information that when you try to look it up, all you get is how bad Kozy York is, and what he did, and they don't give you the whole breakdown of everything. So yeah, man. So I just want to put that in here, so just in case people just want to be like, oh, you don't have the full. Here's the website that gives you the full context of everything, and by the way, also I want to point out, I didn't even know this video was on this website. I just found it through Faise 1 mentioning this video, and I looked it up on YouTube, found it, watched it myself. So the fact that that is on here on this website should say a lot. So yeah, man. So that's it. Also, if you want to check out, you got the Holy Tablets by Kozy York. If you want to take a read and see what Malachi has been what he wrote about in his book and everything that you might hear from other so-called spiritual conscious people, or not conscious people, I'll say conscious leaders or so-called conscious leaders, where they get their information from, and it's all right here. And not just conscious leaders. You got government who read this. You got the Hollywood making movies and TV shows off his work, like the Man from Planet Risk and all that. And yeah, man. Thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we're gonna continue on to the Habiba Abigail Washington's recanted statement. Appreciate y'all. Peace. Nah, we gonna find this. I don't care if it takes me a little while to find this. We gonna find this because this is important, because I don't want people to watch this and then look up Malachi York like, oh, he touched kids. How you can support him? Da da da. One, I would never support somebody who touched kids and sexually abused them and all that. Two, if you see me trying to, like, there's a reason why. Like, I wouldn't defend somebody like this for no reason. Oh, we gonna find it. Oh, trust. See, look, ungodly predator. Look, they say ungodly predator here. I see one problem here. There are some people missing in the story, while being disturbing is the same story of many others who will never be prosecuted, because the same ones that sent York away are the same ones who are protecting the rich and powerful. When the state sees you as a threat, it will use false testimony to incarcerate you. Facts, because they've done it with many other black people. I don't know the extent of York's crimes, but is to extent of the 1,000 or 200 charges without providing evidence of all these witnesses and victims. How you have 1,000 and 200 charges of him touching kids, but where's the victims at? I'm sure he has committed some bad crimes though, because a teenager he got pregnant, was 17 at the time. She was in his church. What? That's a lie. You know what's funny? This dude says, and I agree with him, and says, wow, if he had 200 children, if that is possible, he should get a medal for populating the earth. And there wasn't one child at court who said he was molested. And then, sure, says the guy who believes in New Age woo and apparently has nothing better to do than seek out negative, bruh. But what's funny is Phase 1 was like his mother brought him around Malachi York. And why would there be children around Malachi York if why would they say these things, but the black woman never took the children away from around Malachi York? And why would a children be alone with Malachi York if this happened? And if it happened to more than one, how did so happen to 200 though? Look at this. Wow, look, we found her.
To do this tape.
So
I am also going to state that, as you can tell, I'm not under any kind of influence, alcohol or drug.
So look, so nobody wants to point out this video because everybody wants to run with, oh, he did it, he's a predator, he's this and that. But the person, Abigail Habiba Washington, confession about Dr. York's case. Abigail Habiba Washington confession about Dr. York's case. Meet the prosecutor's main witness. I hope y'all see this. Prosecutor's main witness in a Dr. Malachi York's case. After the case and prosecution of Dr. Malachi York, Habiba Washington made a video confession regarding the conspiracy to incarnate him. For more info, visit www.nubianfacts.com. So I'll play this part a little bit, and then I'll play the reaction video. This is important. I hope, because I don't want to make it seem like, oh yeah, I was supporting the predator. No, like, like if he really do it, lot that nigga. No, that nigga should be dead. But no, he didn't do it. I'm telling you, like.
Hello, my name is Habiba Washington, and today I'm here to put on record the truth behind all of the lies brought up in the case against Malachi York. I'm going to start off by saying that I'm not being forced, threatened, coerced, or pressured to do this tape. I am also going to state that, as you can tell, I'm not under any kind of influence, alcohol or drug. I want to begin with all of the events that led up to the final verdict in the case against Malachi. I want to start off with how it started, where it started, when, and the reason why. I left the community in February of 2001. I moved from Georgia and I went to New York and lived with my family. In about March of 2001, I was contacted by Jacob. Jacob is the son of Malachi York. He's also an ex-member. Jacob contacted...
That's funny. She said ex-member. Pay attention to that. Ex-member, right? He's an ex-member. And then guess what? What did we just looked up? Hold on. I got that cleared name. And then what pops up, what's funny is, I just seen it. Where is it? His ex-New Orleans claims he saw Malachi York shapeshift. Like, people don't understand. If you actually read, like there's, I've seen some people on Instagram just start, like, talking shit and saying, like, oh, he actually did it. How could you support him? And it's like, well, if you read his books, because if you really research to see if he actually did it, you would actually peep what he was at. Like, you would peep that he didn't do it if you actually read his stuff, because you see that he brought hella information, even information that a lot of people didn't know. They see it, bro. And then hold on, let me see this. Or before I say it, actually, let me finish what I said. And what's funny is, it's funny how it's ex-members of the Nawapians who set him up, including his own son. And then it's funny how it's a white woman on here that's saying, oh, he's an ungodly predator.
State's attorney about this case.
Look at this, bro. A bunch of white people.
Brunswick, Georgia.
But they don't do interviews to any of the, how come we don't see any interviews of the kids? How come we don't see any interviews with the mothers of the kids? How come we don't see interviews of the men who was on at Tom Ray? I'm just saying, if he really did it, one, it would have been a bigger story than what it is now. Two, you would have more interviews if he really did it of the kids and the mothers. But where are these 200 kids? And where are these mothers of these 200 kids? And where's the interviews of it? That's all I'm saying.
When I first came.
And then also, why, if he actually did it and went to jail, how come Malachi Z. York is smiling? Why would you smile if you actually did it and you're going to jail? Why would you smile?
It was like in 2001. He was in Atlanta and the holdover down there, and I was going to court. And he was my next door neighbor. I also know because I don't attend some of his classes on the street down in Eden, Georgia, down where the pyramids is, the Nubian Nation of Moors.
See, this is Nubian, the Nubian Nation. Tom Ray.
You know what I'm saying? I had joined the Nubian Nation of Moors at one time. It was the Ansar community up in New York, in Brownsville, and they moved down to Atlanta and became the Nubian Nation of Moors. That's when they became Southern. That's when they built the pyramids and planned.
So that had to be a privilege for you to speak to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, this is like a high priest you talking to. Like, and he's smart, and he don't understand. Like when you deal with certain people like that too, they don't understand the small stuff. Like the way you talk, your language, because this man speaks 10 different languages, and he is a spiritualist, so he's not really talking about the same things that you're talking about, or they ain't grow up, they've got no understanding.
Interesting. He's a spiritual leader and speaks 10 languages. Who do you know speaks 10 languages? I'll wait. There's only 2 people that was ever documented who could speak 10 languages. Thor, it was like Thor something. What's his fucking name? I have it here. Hold on, sorry. Let me just Val Thor. Look up Val Thor. VAL space THOR. He can speak 10 languages, and Malachi York. Now, I'm just saying, if you can speak 10 languages and you're speaking, like you said, you're a spiritual leader and speaking all this other stuff, and the FBI is watching you, and it so happens your son betrays you, not because he actually did it. No, he didn't do it. He lied on his name. I'm talking about that betrayal. So you gave him you put a false allegation on him to give them a reason why to raid the compound to go get him and arrest him. I'm just saying, shit
I
don't.
don't know what you're talking about.
Is he teaching the same thing in prison that he was teaching?
That's why he in ADX, so he can't teach. Certain people, like, they put you in ADX because you have
One man cell with everything in house. You're in ADX, so you can't. So you have everything in the cell, and you can't go talk to other people. Wow.
talk about.
Is he teaching the same thing in prison that he was teaching?
That's why he in ADX, so he can't teach. Certain people, like, they put you in ADX because you have what they call, they feel like you got influence. Like, that's another reason what BG was doing, because he got influence. When you hit the yard, everybody gonna do what you tell them to do. So that's a kind of security threat to the COs. You see what I'm saying? Because people want to do stuff for you. You know what I'm saying?
So what happens? So ADS, they won't allow you to mingle with them.
You get your mail on the screen and all that. The shower come to your cell. You got TV in your cell. There's no reason to be in your cell.
So people like, I'm sorry to cut you off. Malachi, a person like him, he couldn't hit the yard.
No, he can't. They ain't gonna let him come out.
Damn.
He ADS with Larry Hoovers, the Jeff Fords. They don't let these type of people in the population run around like inmates because they got too much influence. They got too much influence. You know what I'm saying? And that's.
So wait a minute, bro. They don't never get to come out.
No.
They never get to go and see outside, bro.
Yeah, they stay
What?
right there in Colorado.
Wait, what? I didn't know this.
They never get to go and see outside, bro.
Yeah, they stay right there in Colorado. They don't come. You know what I'm saying? We got certain people that just can't be in population. But they feel like the control they can have over the population. They feel like the individual is bigger than the compound. You know what I'm saying? So they'll keep you separated.
That's crazy. Now, I want y'all to really think about it. They gave him 135 years for touching 200 kids. What black person do y'all know touched 200 kids and got 135 years? And then on top of that, you're telling me, and I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying, you're telling me that a bunch of rapists and how you say sexual predators who get less time than they don't even get 100 years, so they get less of that, and you're telling me that somebody like him got 135 years? And so, like, bro, it doesn't make sense. How you write 100 books, and there are 100 books, you can go research and look it up, and if you need to ask somebody, ask somebody who knows about Malachi York. He wrote 100 books. So if you wrote 100 books, when do you have the time to touch kids, especially 200 kids? My thing is, I'm sorry. This is sweet. My thing is, just say if he touched 3 kids, right? The black women who are sorry, the melanated women, or what do you want to call it, the so-called black women, at the compound wouldn't have let that slide. And especially, and I know there's a lot of people who don't believe in spirituality and they call it woo and you know, that woo science and whatever you want to call it, right? But people who actually know, women are more spiritually connected than men. And it's not to say men can't be spiritually connected, but they're more spiritually connected. So that's why women can sense when you're doing something off, or you're, you know, all this other stuff, because they pay attention. So you telling me a bunch of women couldn't have seen and or couldn't have noticed 200 kids being touched by one man? It something just doesn't add up. If you said one or 3 children, okay, you guys, but 200 of them, all right, bro. You're making it seem like he's this weird predator when you actually got weird predators. And that video I just showed of the white people saying he's this super predator or whatever the fuck. They protect. The ironic thing is, and it said in the comments, they protect the rich people who actually do this shit. So I'm just saying, put 2 and 7 together, and you get 9.
Yeah, I would think that would drive you crazy. That would.
Yeah. It can, if the right person. You know what I'm saying? But once you start to figure out your situation and you know that you ain't got no way out of it, your mind got to grasp on something that can help you get through it. You know what
like you said, if you got a strong mind.
If you got a strong mind. If you don't, you'll hear about them trying to kill themselves, taking too many pills, and doing all type of good stuff to try to, you know what I'm saying, get themselves out of a situation.
So that was that, right? Now he said, "I'm glad I found that video." I mean, you said that. Now let's hear Abigail's confession.
Started when, and the reason why. I left the community in February of 2001. I moved from Georgia and I went to New York and lived with my family. In about March of 2001, I was contacted by Jacob. Jacob is the son of Malachi York. He's also an ex-member. Jacob contacted me, and our conversation was basically about the good times that we had in the community, what we went through, how we grew up, just making up for old times. 2 months after that, Jacob called me. This was in May. Jacob called me about a trip to Florida, a trip where a lot of some of the girls and boys that were going down, ex-members that were going to go down to Florida just to hang out, to have fun, or whatever. I agreed to go on the trip. I told Jacob that I would come on the trip. I left down.
And you notice it's ex-members too? You notice it was ex-members? Why? How come they become ex-members? Why did they leave? I can understand, you leave because, you want to visit family and stay with family. But for the other people, why did they leave? What's their reasoning to become ex-members?
Left from New York, went to Georgia. We all met up at Jacob's house. It was me, Jacob, Nicole Lopez, Noor Rashid, East, Esther, probably some other girls and boys that I don't remember. Before we actually went down to Florida, I had a conversation with Jacob outside of his house, and Jacob brought up some feelings that he had about his father. Jacob was really upset with his father. He stated that he hated his father, that he felt that his father doesn't need to be alive, that he shouldn't even be given life.
That's crazy.
He felt that his father needs to just rot in jail.
What?
Jacob wanted all of us to all of us, meaning me, Nicole, Karima, he was talking to a couple of people, different people that left the community. He wanted us to bring a case against his father. Jacob told me that...
And she name dropped people too, so you know it's real.
Some of the girls and boys that left the community had went to the government about different things that was going on in the community, meaning child molestation. Before I left the community, I was the main person in charge of the finances, as well as in charge of anything that went on with the community, the living, eating, anything, the financial, anything that happened regarding any of the members in the community. I dealt with that, so I was basically in charge. Jacob told me that the FBI knew who I was and that they were told about certain things that I've done in the community, and some of those things I can be incriminated for. Jacob told me that if I don't go to the FBI first, then they would come after me, they would incarcerate me, they would take my children away from me, because there are things that they were told about me that could incriminate me. When Jacob first talked to me about that, I was not interested in bringing out any charges against his father. I didn't see any reason. I didn't believe that anything was going on. I didn't believe that anything was wrong. We wasn't doing any criminal acts. Jacob brought up the fact that I had...
It's crazy she said all this. She named people. She gave dates. Nobody could say she's lying. Like, she even said in the beginning, like, oh... I'm sorry, hold on. I'm trying to figure out who just followed me. Okay, anyways. I'm sorry about that. It's just funny how people, you know, say all these things but haven't seen this video. And this video literally debunks everything that has ever been said about him. Because she's literally giving you dates. She tells you when she left. She's giving you the name of the people who came up with the idea, what the idea was. And it's crazy how the son, Jacob, which is funny, Jacob is the name of the son, that lied, literally told him, hey, we need to build a case in the case of child molestation. And did I not say all this before I showed this video too? Like,
had a son by his father at 17 years old. I told Jacob that my son with his father was never, it never came about because I was forced to have sex with his father. I was 17 years old, and yes, I did agree to having a child with his father at that age. I understood my age, I understood his age. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I consented to it. So I told Jacob that that's the way that I felt. I didn't feel that anything wrong happened, that we both agreed to it. I felt that I was an adult, it was my decision, and I went with it. But Jacob proceeded to say that there were some things that some of the other members, some of the other ex-members had went to the government with, and that I should really, really talk to them and see what's up and see how I can clear my name so that I'm not prosecuted for any of those things. We all went to Florida after that conversation, and during our trip to Florida, we had several conversations in the car with Jacob. It was some other boys that were there, and Jacob started talking about going on the land and taking some of the kids, just kidnapping some of the children off the land.
What?
He was talking about my sister. My sister was still there. My younger sister, Isla, was...
So this nigga's over here talking about kidnapping the land are y'all hearing this? Bro, this nigga's idea was, he literally starts with, I hate my father, he should be dead or in jail. That's crazy to say about your dad. And then on top of that, your idea is, hey, we should go on the land and kidnap the kids. What the fuck those aren't your kids to take. What about the mothers? What about the fathers that are there that allow their children to be there? What about them? And they go look for their child and they're gone. And now they're trying to blame him. now they're trying to blame Malachi York because the children are come the fuck on, bro.
Still there, and he wanted us to just go up there and just take her and take some of the other little girls and boys off the land because he didn't feel that they should be living on the land with his father. But we had all agreed that that was not going to happen. You know, none of us was interested in going up on the land and kidnapping anybody. So Jacob said, well, then we can just do it the legal way. He started bringing up different...
You hear? We can do this the legal way. Y'all hear this? Oh my
things
God,
in the community, like how we grew up, how we lived. He brought up the fact that he was in love with Nicole, and he felt that because Nicole liked his father, that it was a betrayal, and that his father's the one that was responsible for it. Jacob felt that his dad was responsible for his mother's death and his brother's death, and he really, really felt that he needed to take revenge on his father, and he was not able to do it, but we were able to do it because we were there longer and we were closer to his dad than he was. So Jacob had a conversation.
So this is from him being bitter about, I guess, whatever relationship between him and his dad is.
With me and Karima and Nicole. Nicole had a lot of disgruntled issues, talking about Nicole Lopez, had a lot of issues with Jacob's dad because, for one, she was kicked out, and she felt that it was wrong that she was kicked out because she didn't have anywhere to go, she didn't know anybody, and then after all of the years that she lived in the community, he kicked her out, meaning Malachi kicked her out, and she had nowhere to go. So she was kind of mad about that.
Why was she kicked out?
Everybody started venting in the car about different things that we didn't like. It had nothing to do with child molestation, had nothing to do with any criminal acts. It was just different things that, you know, normal things that you don't like about growing up, or, you know, we might have had an argument with Malachi here and there, and we brought up the situation. Jacob kind of fed off of that anger, and he convinced all of us that we should take that anger and we should go to the government with a story about his father. We all went down to Florida, and we had fun. We did our thing. On our way back to Florida, from Florida, the trip.
My thing is, how do you convince? Even if I can see other people, but how do you convince you to lie?
Back from Florida, we was driving in Jacob's car again. It was myself, Karima, Nicole, Farah, Noah Rashid, and some other driver. I don't remember his name. And Jacob brought up the conversation again. How he thinks that we should really go to the government with a story about his father.
You didn't hear this nigga say he hates his dad and wants him either dead or in jail? Of course that nigga was gonna bring it back up. Like,
anything that we didn't like in the community, we should go, because his father needed to be in jail. His father did not do good things. He was not happy with his father, and he really felt that a case should be brought up against his father. He really felt that his father should be put away for life, that he did not deserve to live. That conversation subsided, and we finally made it back to Georgia from Florida, and Jacob had a conversation with me again, and he told me that there were certain children that did go to the FBI about different things with myself, and that there was no way I would be able to prove that it didn't happen. The only way I can make any good of it is to go to the FBI with a story, seek immunity, and just go from there. I still told Jacob that I was not interested in doing that there was nothing that I've witnessed or nothing that I've known that was going on. But Jacob,
how do niggas in the conscious community be calling niggas agents and all that? That nigga was an agent himself. God damn, bro. I mean, goddamn, fuck. like, bro, it's like, bro, are you not hearing yourself? I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about that nigga Jacob. You not hearing yourself, nigga? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, you can't go to FBI with that. So go to FBI, say this and that, ask for full immunity, this and that, because we gotta get this nigga in jail. We just gotta get him in jail. Like, Like, bro, what? And then where's this nigga Jake? Where's Jacob York at now? Cause where's this nigga at? After you did all that, where this nigga at now, bro?
Believe that because the FBI knew who I was and because they were told things about me, that it was best that I go to them and talk to them and see what's up. At that point, I was afraid. I mean, nobody really messes with the FBI. So I went to the FBI the following day. They called Jacob up first. I sat in the car. Jacob talked with them. I don't know what the conversation was about because I wasn't in the room and I wasn't told what the conversation was about. But Jacob went up there and he talked to them. And then about an hour later, they called me up. I stated my name. I stated who I was. They asked me about different children. They called out different names like Amala and Crystal. And I told them, you know, I knew those children. I knew whatever names they brought out. If I knew the person, I told them I knew the person. They told me about, they asked me to state.
Are y'all peeping how, like, there's no way she's being coerced to say all this? Are you peeping how, like, she's able to remember all this and recant everything that happened? Like, and like I said, she's not on drugs. She didn't have a, she's sober. She didn't have a drink or anything. She's literally not being forced to say all this. Like, I don't know how much more people will want to, like, prove that he's innocent. No, this doesn't prove anything. Okay, then what? Then what's your proof that he actually did it? Where's the evidence that he actually did it? Because I can bring you proof of the person who was on the case and is confessing everything that happened. And you think, and if you don't believe that happened, then how come you don't go interview the people that got allegedly touched? Go ask those children, because the FBI sure didn't go ask them. I gotta pee.
My life and the reasons why I left and the reason why I was there. I told them about life in the community, growing up, why we left. I was questioned about the money charges. The money situation, because I did deal with the financial situation. I told them how we ran our finances. I ran off, different people that I knew that was there, different people that I knew that had left, and why they left. They asked me about certain children. They asked me about certain stories that they were told. And I told them that, yeah, I went along with the story. I told them that, yes, I did do these things. I felt that I had to tell them that yes, because I was told that they already knew, and there was no way for me to deny anything that didn't happen or anything that did happen. I had to tell them what I felt that they knew, because I felt that, like Jacob told me, they already knew the story, and there was no way that I can say that it didn't happen. I would have to prosecute myself to make whatever was said against his father, make it more real, make it sound more believable. If we all prosecuted ourselves, then whatever we say about Malachi would be believable.
You hear how stupid that sounds? Y'all hear how stupid that sounds? Yeah, so if we just prosecute ourselves, because we'll prosecute ourselves, then we ask for immunity, then they'll take down Malachi's. You hear how delusional and crazy that sounds?
That interview ended by them asking me different people that I knew that would want to talk, different members that I knew that would want to assist them in the case. The only names that I knew were other members that I knew that were disgruntled. Like Nicole had her own issues with Malachi, Karima had her own issues with Malachi, Sakina also, Amala, Crystal, different people that I knew that had issues against him. I gave them those names. So after that, they started calling different people, and everybody kind of got involved. Everybody called everybody, and that's how the case kind of started. The question next would be, why did I go ahead with the story? Why did I never take it back? Why didn't I ever, you know, just tell the truth at that time?
Facts. That was a great question. Why?
I felt really pressured to go along with the story. I felt that I had to go along with the story. We all kind of called each other and was backing up each other's story. If Nicole did an interview with the FBI, then she would call us and we would, you know, back up her story. So if Nicole spoke to them, then she would call us. So in case they call me, then I can back up whatever Nicole was saying. And that's kind of how we did it. We all just called each other and said, yeah, I said this, and that way we can back each other up, make the story sound more real, make it sound more believable. If we all back each other up, it can make it sound more believable.
I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on.
I was afraid that my initial interview that I had given a statement, I was afraid that if I was to take that back, I did not know if I was going to be prosecuted. It's not like I had an attorney to represent me. I did not have my personal attorney to tell me, to explain to me what the steps were, what the charges were, what the immunity really meant. What I believed the immunity to mean was that I would be protected. Anything that I would say on the witness stand that could be used against me, anything that I would say that could be used against me, I would be protected from that. That's what I understood my immunity to mean. I was never explained in detail what the agreement was about, what the immunity was about. That was the gist of what I understood it was about. So at the time I went through with the story because I was afraid for my life. I was afraid that they could take me to jail, that I could be incarcerated, that my children would be taken away from me. And it was different times during the 2-year process that I spoke to different FBI agents. I spoke to Joan, I spoke to Jelaine, I spoke to Tracy from the Sheriff Department, and there was on a couple occasions where they did remind me that, you know, Habiba, you can be incriminated for certain things that you're about to say as well. So being reminded of that, I felt compelled to just go ahead with the story. I didn't want to change my story at that time. I didn't want to break the agreement because I was told that by breaking the agreement meant that I would be incarcerated and I would be prosecuted because I've given statements already. And like I said, I wasn't...
So, let me get this right. So, she was thrown into the agreement because they kept calling her in. She didn't know about what the agreement was, and she retracted. She would have been taken to jail, and it's I'm not saying it's fully right, but I understand why she did.
Represented by a personal attorney. The prosecution had an attorney that represented all of the witnesses and all of the victims, but I was not represented by a personal attorney. So I didn't really know my rights. I didn't really know what the laws. I didn't know what I could do, what I can't do. So I felt compelled to just go ahead with the story that everybody else was telling. Why I want to come out with the truth now? It's really, really important for me to come out with the truth now because I don't sleep at night knowing that 2 people are spending their lives in jail as I speak because of statements that a bunch of ex-disgruntled members came out with. The whole trial against Malachi was it was on personal anger reasons. We all had our own issues, why we were angry with him. And Jacob told us that we can come up with a story, we could eventually file for a class action lawsuit, we can all sue him for millions of dollars and get money from it. We can even go to making movies, we can even go to making books and stuff like that. So everybody fed off of that idea. Prior to him telling us about Jacob, prior to Jacob telling us about the civil suit, he showed us video documentary on Charles Manson, on the Watergate Jude, different leaders that kind of ran cults And Jacob
What the fuck?
showed us this documentary. He showed it to me. He showed it to Nicole. He basically showed it to everybody that left the community, the girls.
So he wanted to start a cult right after.
And he wanted us to look at this documentary and compare it to his father, the way that we lived.
Are you serious, bro? This nigga here, bro, is just pulling. It's just pulling everything he can. Like, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Wasn't this what Malachi was doing? Isn't this the same stuff Malachi? I'm like, bro, calm.
That yes, we did live with the children, the parents with the parents, the brothers together, the mothers together. He wanted us to compare everything that they've been through with us so that we could start believing. We could put in our mind.
I ain't gonna lie. I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. Men, the brothers sleeping with the brothers, sisters sleeping with the sisters, children sleeping with the children. Or like, not with the children, but like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's housed. The men sleep in one house, the women sleep in one house, and children sleep in the other. Like, that sounds reasonable. I ain't gonna hold you. One, it brings a bond closer to y'all, and not only that, helps make sure there ain't no fuck shit going on either. So, shit, I'm with it. Shit.
Means that no, we didn't live a normal life. Yes, we were a cult. So he showed all of us that documentary so that we can sort of compare the two, so that before we even start testifying, we could understand that yes, we were a cult. You know, he wanted that to be in our minds so that we can go with that type of mind frame, as opposed to, you know, we were normal, we just all have our own issues, we're mad, but you know, it's all good. No, he wanted us to believe that, listen, this is the documentary on this cult group, and this is what we lived, and he wanted us to compare that so that we can have that type of mind frame. In other words, it added on to the anger that, wow, you know, this is how we grew up, or this is what it is. Anyways, like I was saying, I feel.
You know what's funny? That son is doing a whole bunch of manipulative tactics, and Malachi Z. York hadn't do no manipulative tactics at all. That should say a lot. I
feel totally guilty for bringing this case against Malachi. I don't feel that it's right that he is in jail right now, because all of us were angry and we all got together and agreed to this case.
Y'all see what being angry and bitter leads to, bro?
And now he's facing life in jail for it. It's not right. It's not fair for anybody to be prosecuted because of somebody else's personal reasons. I don't think that he should be incarcerated because of that. If we all did have issues against him, then that's human nature. But nobody should be sent to jail because of a bunch of lies. And what was said on that stand were a bunch of lies. Like I said, we all called each other up. We all backed each other's story up. We all, you know, kind of, okay, well, you said this to this person and I said this to that person. Okay, that's fine. Jacob went to each and every one of us and tried to make it personal between each and every one of us. With me, it was like you was in charge, you had control of a lot of things, and so anybody could say this about you and it would be believable because you was in charge. There was no denying that I was in charge. I was in charge. So I felt that I had to go along with the story because I couldn't prove anything that anybody would say against me. I didn't feel that I could prove it. I mean,
but
he
you were
told
in
me
charge,
that
though.
Once they tell the FBI something, the FBI is looking into you. They start looking into me. There was no way that I can prove that what anybody said about me wasn't the truth or wasn't a lie. There was no way. So I felt compelled to just go ahead with the story. As far as Nicole is concerned, Jacob appealed to her because Nicole was in love with one of the younger boys. And so Jacob knew that if they found out that about Nicole would be so afraid that she can be prosecuted with that she would be also compelled
this
to
nigga's-
tell a story
so this
about
nigga
his
scared
father
them into
because
lying.
she didn't want
That's
to
crazy.
be incriminated for whatever feeling she had. So different people had different reasons. You know, Jacob had different, he made everything personal between all of us. So we all had personal reasons for being pressured or feeling that we had to go through with the story. Like I would say, like Nicole Harden, the whole situation with the RICO charges. I know that I previously stated that Malachi York never told us not to structure any money, and he also never told us not to sign or not to report when we made over $10,000. He never told us not to ever file that report in the court. I was told that Nicole Harden told the FBI's that he did tell us not to sign that document. I would have known if he would have said that because I was in charge of the money. I was the person that was in charge of the financial office. If anything was told about finances,
That's funny. They asked somebody, and the person who is in charge lied, but the person in charge right here is saying, "I was the one in charge," and he did not say that. That's hilarious.
Definitely have.
I mean, it's sad. It's sad and fucked up, but it's hilarious because it's like, yo, the evidence is right there of the lie. You could have proved. That's her proof right there. That would have been her proof of I was in charge. Literally being in charge would have proved like a lot of the shit. I feel like I know she was in charge of the financial stuff, but like, come on, bro. Like
me, but I do believe that Nicole felt compelled to go ahead
Well,
with that
I understand
story
why
because
she-
for one,
you know, I understand
Nicole
why
is
she
the
did.
one, Nicole Harden I'm talking about, is the one who did refuse to sign those documents, and she's also the one who always gave the tellers a problem and a hard time whenever it came to those type of transactions. So I believe that that's the reason why Nicole did go ahead and said that, yes, he said that. But he's never said that to me. He's never said that to anybody else that I known. And like I said, I was the one in charge of the finances, and I would have known anything that he would have said as far as the finances goes. Back to the reason why I feel that it is important to tell the truth now. Like I said, I could have told the truth before, but I was afraid. I felt that I was pressured to just go ahead with the story. I was being reminded how I was doing the right thing, that this is a good thing that I'm doing. I was doing the right thing. And as well, I did have to remind myself that I could be incriminated. So I felt that, okay, if you tell me 100 times that it's the right thing to do, if that's what all of the agents are telling me, then it is the right thing to do. I didn't feel that it was the right thing to do, but I was being told that it was the right thing to do, and I felt really, really pressured. I know you can say that, why don't I feel pressured now? Right. It's not that I don't feel pressured now. I just feel that the truth has to come out. There's no way that any person in their right mind can go ahead and live the rest of their life knowing that they sent somebody to jail for life on lies. There's just no way.
Facts. Okay.
And there's no way that I can live the rest of my life knowing that Malachi is going to spend the rest of his life in jail, knowing that Kathy is in jail now because of charges that we brought up against her. Every time I look at my children, I think about her children. I think about the fact that her children doesn't have her, and it's not right. It's just not
so
right.
Y'all sent a mother to jail, and you sent not only a spiritual leader, but a father and that's nuts. Like, and it makes sense because like if she can't sleep and she looks at her own children and thinks of it, I'm glad she made this confession, because if she didn't, he would still, like, he's still in jail now, but he was like, there would be no evidence of oh, he didn't do it, and it'd just be a bunch of say-sos instead of this video. So this video helps a lot. But damn, bro.
I'm also going to talk about the money situation. Yes, I was in charge of the finances, and a lot of the financial decisions that were made were by me at the time that I was in charge. when I wasn't in charge, when it was Kathy that was in charge, the financial decisions were made by her. Malachi did not make financial decisions. We collected the money, we separated the money. When I was in charge of where the money went, how the money was handled, how it was separated. He never sat us down and told us to avoid the FBI or avoid the IRS or avoid doing anything illegal with his money. As a matter of fact, he was very, very serious about handling his finances in a legal way. So anything that happened with the finances, when I was in charge, it was my decision to decide what happened with the finances, where it went, and how it was handled. And the same goes for anybody else who was in charge prior to me or after me. That's how it was done. I didn't really understand the structure charges, and I believe that I expressed that to the attorney, the U.S. attorney, and I also expressed that to FBI Jelaine, that I didn't really understand the structure charges. And they explained to me that anytime you try to avoid filing that report, then that's a charge. That's a serious charge.
What?
And like I stated previously, and I believe I stated this on my testimony on the stand, that Malachi never told us not to file those reports. He never told us to deny any of the tellers any information. If we did deposit over $10,000 and if we were investigated, he never told us not to follow through with us. He never told us not to talk to anyone about it. So that's how I feel about the money structure charges. I just want to repeat that the charges brought up against Malachi were all lies.
That's the third time.
We
I think
did back each
third time
other's
she said
story
it.
up. I can't really speak for why other people did it. I know that a lot of them had their own personal anger issues with Malachi. I want to state that nobody that left the community left because they were molested. That was never a reason why anybody left, because they were molested or because he was doing things to them that they did not agree to. Nobody left because he was doing any criminal acts. Nobody had any problem with that. That was never the reason for anyone to leave, child or adult. That was never the reason for anybody to leave. Everybody left because they wanted to leave, because they got fed up. I left because I wanted a new life. It just wasn't for me anymore. Some people did get kicked out, but it was never because of any child molestation issues. Nobody ever left because they felt that they were molested. There was no child that ever made a statement that I want to leave because Malachi is molesting me. That never took place. That never happened.
Damn.
Like I said, the charges were all personal charges. It was all because of personal reasons. Jacob had, at different points in time, was questioning us about, well, what about this boy? Well, what about this girl? What do you think he's going to say? What do you think she's going to say? Did you ever see anything happen with this girl? And I would always tell Jacob, I've never seen anything happen with this boy or this girl. But Jacob forced us. He really, really wanted us to say, okay, this happened with this boy, this happened with this girl. Well, if you're going to say it, then you might as well tell them. So he questioned all of us about different people. And like I said, everybody had their own personal reasons. Everybody had their reason for feeling that they had to tell the story. For me, it was because I was in charge, and I felt pressured. I felt compelled that anything that anybody told the FBI about me, it would be so hard for me to try to prove that it was a lie or prove that it was not the truth. And like I said, I was not represented by my own personal attorney. I didn't really know my rights. I don't really understand the law. I wasn't really told, or I would say I was not really informed about everything that was going on. I knew there was charges brought up against Malachi. I knew that we had to testify. I knew what we had to say. That was it. I did not understand that I could just get another attorney and speak to another attorney about not going through. There was so many times when I wanted to pull back my statement, when I wanted to just not go through with it, but I didn't have the support. I didn't have the backup. I didn't feel that I had the protection. You know, yes, I was afraid of going to jail. I was afraid of having my children taken away from me. I know that it's not right to be afraid for myself and think that it was right. Okay, well, I can protect myself and he still go to jail. I know that that's not right. I know it was a selfish thought. And this is why I'm here now, to tell the truth, to tell it how it was.
Damn. There you go, bro. There you go. So there you go. That just shows, like, you know, that just shows, you know, like, proves my point. Yeah, man. With that being said, till next time. Deuces.